I'm ready. Go.
Alright guys, so this is my this is my statue collection guide number 11, I believe, for Pop Culture Shock. I should have done this about a year ago, but I didn't. And in the process of moving, I'm about to box this guy up right after this review. The reason I'm doing this review now is because I believe, I think most people believe, this character, Alex, is going to make an appearance in Street Fighter V. There were two variants. This variant and another one that I'm going to show you in a second. This is the classic Alex Player 1 colors. Third Strike, you will see the box right here. It says Third Strike, Street Fighter 3, Fight for the Future. It has a picture of Alex in the front, and the exclusive is actually one I'll show you in a moment with white hair. This is a mixed media statue, 17 inches tall. It's cast in polystone. The bio is really short. It says, an American fighter from the streets of New York, Alex is the lead character of the Street Fighter 3 series. After defeating Gil, he shifted his focus to seeking after the strongest opponents in hopes of one day besting Ryu. Anyway, that's the box. It's pretty sweet, looks pretty sweet. Love the Third Strike logo, always have. Alex himself will get onto, he's actually about 15 inches tall from here to the bottom of his feet, not 17. I think 17 is closer when you have the base. The whole thing is one piece. It comes apart from the base, and then these hair pieces here come off. We'll talk about that in a moment. Now, the edition size was 175, the EX was 50, and there were 10 APs for each. The release date was December 2013. The original price was about $350. I think, honestly, I can't remember. The website has changed so much I can't even look it up. I mean, I could, but I don't have time because I'm moving. Now, the other thing is the secondary market price at the moment is, people don't know what to do with it. So it's like, because they still think it's a Third Strike character, and I think it's going to be a Street Fighter V character, in which case I think the secondary market price is going to skyrocket. But right now it's selling, I mean, I just took a quick glance on eBay, literally it's sold listings, and it was selling from 365 up to 550. And there didn't appear to be a big difference between the EX and the normal, which is really weird because the EX is really good and there's only 50 available. So maybe it just needs a little time to settle down and become part of the collection. Now, there was some broken hair issues. I'll do a close-up of this statue in time, but there was some issues with the front of this hair. There was some issues with these pieces that go into magnetized. There were some issues with this not being straight down and bending out a bit. That can be fixed using a hairdryer. Just warm it up and bend it slightly. Not a big deal. There's no such thing as a perfect statue. It just doesn't happen. One of the other things was that the veins weren't painted, so he has these really intricate veins. All of the Pop Culture Shock statues have intricate veins, and they just have this little tiny vague sort of bluish tint to them to look like veins. Nothing overpowering, but it's a nice detail, and he came out a little bit flatter. On the plus side, fuck me, this is an amazing statue. I mean, seriously. So, you've got his military grade boots, which are pretty cool. They're made of polystone. You can see them there. Then you have these overalls, which we'll talk about in a minute, because guess what? Capcom made some changes to them. Why would Capcom make changes to his overalls? Isn't that weird? That's where the Street Fighter V conversation is interesting. You can just see his eyebrows under there and his eyes. His, I don't want to call it makeup, his face paint, his bandana, his hair. The change that Capcom made is very interesting. So anyway, look, check out here, the musculature, the actual anatomy is awesome. Whenever Pop Culture Shock does this sort of type of anatomy, they always make sure there are imperfections, stretch marks, veins you see here, stuff around the neck. It always looks good. And then I'm going to switch him around a little bit because I only have light coming from one direction. So you can see a little bit there. Now, In the original Alex for Third Strike, he actually had a flap at the back here, like traditional overalls. They changed this. Like, Capcom literally changed it. And we were all like, this happened ages ago by the way, but we were all like, why? Why would Capcom make that change unless he was being developed for a future game? His hair is pretty stunning. I mean, it looks amazing, right? Now, one change, this might have just been an artistic interpretation, but one change is that this hair in game is much more like a ponytail. It's much thinner and kept, and here it's like really just blown out. You see it's all over the place. Again, that could just be a change by Pop Culture Shock, just to make the statue a better looking statue, or it could have been directed from Capcom based on a future model of the character. So that I found interesting. I think his shoulders are amazing. Look at the size of those shoulders. I just love the way that those muscles break up there. Yeah, overall, really stunning statue. Really lucky to have it. Popular with the Third Strike fans and general Street Fighter fans, and I think this character is going to be in Street Fighter 5 because also, of course, everybody knows that there's the billboards that have Alex saying I'll be back in Street Fighter Cross Tekken and Street Fighter 4, so they knew back then that if they were going to bring another game in, it was going to be of the time period after Street Fighter 4 and more closer to the time period of Street Fighter 3, and Alex, the main protagonist from Street Fighter 3, would be included. I'm trying to see if there were any more clues in that regard apart from, you know, what have we got here? We've got this is the only character that Capcom gave the green light to Pop Culture Shock to produce that was not in Street Fighter 2 and not in Street Fighter 4. So that's your first clue, right? Second clue is the back flap was removed from the overalls. Why? Why go to that effort? It makes no sense. Like, why would you change something unless you had something to base it on? You don't just say one day, you don't just wake up and you say, oh, you know, yeah, that's cool that you're making a statue of Alex from Third Strike, but let's remove the back flap because, you know, I know that's his look, but I don't really like it. That's not what's happening here. You know, what's happening is they removed the back flap because clearly they were either had already made design changes or were making design changes to this more modern version where there is no back flap and it just goes straight onto the belt. There's the billboards, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, Ultra Street Fighter 4. We know that this is supposed to take place sometime after Street Fighter 4, maybe before Street Fighter 3, maybe after, maybe it's roughly the same period, not sure. And Alex was the main protagonist for Street Fighter 3, so if the game Street Fighter 5 is based after Street Fighter 4, which we know it is because Charlie got teased, he has a gem in his head, that's Illuminati, that's Street Fighter 3. So there you have it. There's a whole bunch of reasons why Alex is going to be in Street Fighter 5, and a whole bunch of reasons why this statue is going to suddenly become more popular with the masses. As it happens, I absolutely love it as a statue, and I will show you the EX. The edition size of this was 50. It's just a color palette swap. Blue overalls, blue gloves, blue bandana, still with the red face paint, and the white hair, which has touches of grey in it as well, and I'll show you that in a moment. I was lucky enough to snag an AP. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, if it will autofocus, maybe it won't. Trust me, it's an AP. But it's not signed, Jerry Macaluso. It's not signed on the base. I thought that was the whole point. But actually, that's okay. You got his army boots, which are blue and brown. It's a pretty cool detail actually, I kind of like that. Then you've got the mixed media element of his... This camera is picking up like this lint, which I just need to go over it with a roller. You can see the details there in his hand and his fingernails. The details here are pretty awesome with the little, you know, the dungarees and the straps and everything, and the muscle tone. He's pretty huge. His arms are huge. He's supposed to be a wrestler. I mean, he was kind of based on Hulk Hogan basically, and Hugo was based on damn it, the guy from The Princess Bride. I forget his name, but he was a wrestler as well. Look at his arms; they're huge. And then you get around the back here, and let me see if I can get a little bit over the top. You can see his hair is spread out across with some grey streaks in it, which make it look pretty cool, in my mind. They got rid of the back flap, Capcom's decision, as I discussed earlier. Ponytail, no longer thin but right out there, and yeah, really cool statue. This is a mean looking face. I'd like to give a shout out to Jopala, who is, and that's his screen name on Statue Forum, and he's on Event Hubs a lot as well, with the reverse of that name, which I don't even know how to pronounce. Alapoj. Alupoj. Anyway, just want to give shout outs to you, man. Thanks so much for helping me with this in particular. I'd forgotten a lot of the details in regards to Alex and what happened, what went down in terms of shipping and some of the changes that Capcom made and stuff like that. So that's been a great help. Thank you very much. And so I say to everybody who's watching this video, I'll be producing a lot more videos in the coming weeks. I'm just currently moving to a new apartment, and then I have a lot more free time, and I plan to focus on pushing out more videos. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed, then subscribe. That's it really. So thanks. Peace out.